see the light ahead yet, but I'm pacing myself, trusting the process of life. Everything goes and comes back round. Yeah, I'm riding the waves and feeling brave in the darkest of nights, the saddest of moments. I know I'm still going somewhere. The wind is taking me to someplace new, and I'll keep my eyes open for the rainbow after the storm. Feel the sun on my skin, it's a new beginning, and I'll keep my heart open through the highs and lows. I'm always creating my silver lining, owning all my healing for when I see the sun again. I'm exactly where I need to be, leaning into my pain, not letting it define me. I've come a long way, no turning back now. Only I can save me and light my own way in the darkest of nights, the saddest of moments. I know I'm still going somewhere. The wind is taking me to someplace new, and I'll keep my eyes open for the rainbow after the storm. Feel the sun on my skin, it's a new beginning, and I'll keep my heart open through the highs and lows. I'm always creating a silver lining, owning all my healing for when I see the sun again. I've got sunshine on my horizon, taking my time to stop and listen to what my heart needs in this moment. Yeah, I've got sunshine on my horizon, and I'll keep my eyes open for the rainbow after the storm. Feel the sun on my skin, it's a new beginning, and I'll keep my heart open through the highs and lows. I'm always creating a silver lining, owning all my healing for when I see the sun again. I've got sunshine on my horizon, taking my time to stop and listen to what my heart needs in this moment. Yeah, I've got sunshine on my horizon. I've got sunshine on my horizon. I've got sunshine on my horizon. Feels like the whole world's against me. When I'm down, ain't nobody helping me. Feels like I'm at my limit mentally. I gotta make it, it's my destiny. I might not have the answers to it all, but one thing I know, I'll keep on trying, 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 trying. No matter how many times I fall, no matter how low I go, no matter how many times I lose, I'll pick myself up A loss won't stop my growth. The pain won't stop my show. I'll still give life my all. I'll pick myself up again. I'll pick myself up again. I'll pick myself up again. Sometimes I feel lost and don't know where to go. Sometimes I feel like I'm moving way too slow. Sometimes I wonder, is this worth it all? I gotta make it. I know destiny calls. I might not have the answers to it all, but one thing I know, I'll keep on trying, 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 trying. No matter how many times I fall, no matter how low I go, no matter how many times I lose, I'll pick myself up again. A loss won't stop my growth. The pain won't stop my show. I'll still give life my all. I'll pick myself up again. No matter how many times I fall, I'll pick myself up again. No matter how many times I lose, I'll pick myself up again. Slowly making my way each day, finding joy in every small moment. Don't know where I'll go. All I really know is I am living true to me, even when no one else understands. I'll keep dreaming, keep on growing, turn my darkness into sunshine. I'll keep learning, keep on listening to my heart, 'cause good things take time. Yeah, good things take time. I'm creating my own journey. I am focusing on my own path, taking chances, never looking back. Even in my fear, I keep walking through. I'm living fully, no regret, even when no one else understands. I'll keep dreaming, keep on growing, turn my darkness into sunshine. I'll keep learning, keep on listening to my heart, 'cause good things take time. keep dreaming, keep on growing, turn my darkness into sunshine. I'll keep learning, keep on listening to my heart, 'cause good things take
Good evening, everyone. I hope I'm audible to you all.
Yeah, good evening, Shweta. Yes, Shweta. Good evening. I think Sripriya ma'am has also joined in. Yeah, she's joined
Good
in.
evening,
Good evening,
Sripriya ma'am.
Sripriya ma'am. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. So I request everyone, if possible, switch on your cameras because it's going to be a very interesting and very insightful session. And I request you to share this with your friends and family members and loved ones so they can also get benefit from this session. So we will take 1 minute and just you go back, WhatsApp everyone, text message everyone, whoever you can, so that they can also join on our platform. Okay. Good evening. We will start within few minutes. So I'm just starting the counter, 10-minute counter.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Live.
It's time for the final countdown.
Today, Sharika will be going to be
The show
today's session.
starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Yes, Darshini, we are live. You can go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you all had a very nice day. This is Sripriya pursuing BSc Psychology in American College. I request you to make yourself comfortable and get ready for 1 minute meditation and relax yourself.
For 1 minute, we will sit in silence for meditation. Connect ourselves with that divine supreme. And then after that, we will start the session. Thank you so much. Over to you, Daishni, for welcoming intro.
So, today's topic is Cindrella syndrome. I hope everyone is aware of it. Cindrella syndrome is a concept which is used to define women who fear being independent. Women with Cindrella syndrome are in the need of men's refuge and protection. We have a resource person, Dr. Sripriya Shaji, doctorate in counseling psychology, also a nutritionist and art therapist. She has experience, 2 decades experience in health psychology. Her scientific publications have figured in 12 international and national journals, also 15 scientific presentations to her credit. She is the founder of Srisha Counseling Kohidikodi, which is affiliated to World Mental Health Federation. She is also founded Women Mental Health India, a special wings for women-related issues. Co-founded Community Nutrition from Kerala, also preceding Emotional and Mental Wellness Council, WICCI Kerala. She is also a columnist in an international magazine, Mind Matters. Has delivered more than 500 health talks for general public at various community health programs. Such a wonderful profile, ma'am. For now, today she is going to share her knowledge of Cindrella syndrome for us. And Srisha, ma'am, over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Vidashni, for this wonderful introduction. And thank you, everyone, for this opportunity too. I especially thank Anita ma'am because once the article came out, published, she immediately said we can go by Cindrella syndrome. So thanks for the opportunity. Just a second, I'll just start the screen share now. Can you all able to see this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
I'll just try for a whole screen, full screen. Is it clear now? Is it moving?
No, we are in the first slide, ma'am. We are seeing the first slide here.
Okay. I think most of the times in Google Meet we are not able to make this full screen and it is not moving. So I'll
No
just
worries, ma'am. You can go with simple. And at the bottom, there is a zoom. As you can see,
yeah.
you
I
can just.
tried doing that. Still, it is okay. I'll zoom it and make it.
Thank
So
you.
now is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Hope it is clear, right? Okay. So very good evening once again. We are going into Cindrella complex. How many of you has really? We'll make this a very small group, so we'll make it very interactive. How many of you really heard about Cindrella complex?
It is new for me, ma'am. Others also can share.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, fine.
It's something new to me, ma'am. It's something new to me. I just read a sentence about it, and it said that it's some kind of feelings which the woman experiences as a result of her, a spouse or with whom she's in a relationship.
Okay.
It's a kind of insecure feeling. Okay, that's.
Yes, especially most of us think it is mainly connected with the relationship or with the spouse. I'll also move into the topic, and today I'm wanting to present a small case vignette. 3 E's of women empowerment. The story will be presented, and we shall analyze the story, and we can also interpret and an will be discussed. Right. So I have brought in my client. Of course, the name is changed. Okay. The client actually presented to me in a middle age, but I start from her teenage in description. Okay. In teenage, she used to be very good and pink and pretty, very, very pink and very pretty. She's a daydreamer. She always dreams of things, and but we all know dreamer is different from daydreamer. Most of the times she dreams, but she doesn't work on it. Okay. And but she's very kind and lovable person. She loves everyone, and she loves pets especially. And to her family history, it is an orthodox South Indian family. They belong to the middle income group. Her father is a government employee and mother was a homemaker. She also has a younger brother. Being she was a 80s or 90s kid, around end of 80s and early 90s. Okay. She was like a kind of little exaggerated type, and she loves to be into the modern society. But what happens is often the parents' mentality was like they most of the times discriminate or bias things because they believe that boys are going to take care of them after some period, and girls are supposed to, because we all know the South Indian mentality, not only in South India, even complete India has this mentality. The girls is supposed to go to other home and they have to take care of the groom's parents, right? So that kind of insistence were continuously there, and most of the times parents dismiss her lavish needs. It's not a necessity they dismiss, only the lavish needs. They say no, it is not possible because we cannot spend on such things. You are going to get married. So this kind of things happens, and irrespective of her good academic skills, mother insists her to be more responsible for her household chores, and mother repeatedly says that being taking care of home is a good girl's image. It is not that whatever you study or however you become, first it is your home is your prime concern and you have to give priority for this, is what the mother says. So now at present, young Rupa is a postgraduate. She is in middle age at the around 38, 35. Sorry, 35 to 38. She is a postgraduate and she is in well-paid of job and working for a MNC in a high-profile range. And she is also married and having two children. In her social condition, her husband is a alcoholic person. He also have alcoholic liver diseases, and her in-laws are very demanding, from the small petty jobs or a household chores to making money for or caring of themselves. Everything they are very demanding people, and she is meeting a very severe critical financial situation because husband, due to his illness, he's not much into work, and he already had lost in some businesses too. And even her in-laws also, due to old age, they are also having some kind of health complications because of age related issues, and husband is already a alcoholic liver disease person. This is the family situation, but she always has a tag. She says that oh, I have to be obedient to my in-laws, I have to take care of them like this. And my husband, whatever he does, he's like this. He's very caring, he's very lovable, and he's too good. He has only one wrong habit, and all those kind of loyal wife she is. And she also take care of her children very sincerely, and she also have the tag of responsible mother. And whenever we ask, isn't it a bad habit, why are you justifying alcoholic person? Because he's a chronic alcoholic. So she always says that everyone drinks, who is not there drinking. It is a common, it is he just drinks on social pattern. But with social pattern, nobody will be affected this much. That she was not very aware of. And she always says that he is very lovable, he take care of everything. And that everything is he selects dress for her, or he picks and drops her in office. But whenever I try to convey her a message, see, love and taking care is not that picking and dropping from the office. It is about being responsible for you and children. That one part she is not able to understand in the initial stages. And she is such a very meek and submissive girl. She is passive too. She won't get aggressive, or she won't even talk back in an assertive manner. She is docile, and she can be easily swayed. Why I said swayed means, any number of times this husband repeatedly does a mistake, irrespective of his present health condition. He'll go without her knowledge, he will drink and come back, and he'll say some silly reasons, and she will forgive him. She doesn't understand what actually forgiveness is. Why this is happening is, she fears failure, fear of rejection. She is very much worried that, what if my husband rejects me or go into some other relationships? And she lacks the self-esteem. Empowerment is less, and she has lot of cultural, what if my society says, if I divorce him or scold him, what will happen to my children, and kind of things. And the societal pressure again, you have to take care of you, he is very sick, you have to take care. But no one understands this sickness is self-inflicting. It is not that the sickness he got without any reasons, or it is not a natural one. It is by the self-inflict behavior he started, and still he is not stopping it. This is a very important factor. We have to, irrespective of his good deeds, if he is not getting something, it is definitely somebody should take care of. But here also, I don't say that he should not be taken care of, but if he is repeating the same mistakes, that has to be reinforced. That is what lacking in this concept. Okay, so this is all about Rupa. And before starting my career, I think during my teen years also, whenever I come across such women who is always like they belongs to their husband, and they are very loyal, or they worship their husband, I always thought there is three things which lacks them. Educated people will not do this, employed people will not do this, and those who have financial freedom will not do this. So I also have been reinforced by the society or the community that women empowerment is hugely only with these things. Educate the girl, employability, and the girl should have a financial freedom. So all of us thinks in the same way. Is there any difference you think? Can you respond now? How many of you think no, there is something else they need for empowering a woman?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, these three E's are very, very effective. Like earnings, financial independence must be there. Everyone say like nowadays, without if woman is not earning, then the घर का गुजारा नहीं होता. Like home, every need must be fulfilled. Yes, friends, you can also share your views.
I think girls should also have self confidence because
Okay.
of the education that they have, and they should have resilience in order to handle situations which are very very stressful, which can actually go beyond this one. And I think it is always better to be a girl, and it's good for the family if the girl can support and take care of the parents also. That will be very good. And if she can be allowed to perform the last rites of the parents also, that will be very good.
Okay.
Something which I could really think about, ma'am. Because
Okay.
they always prefer sons, to perform all the last rites of the parents. Not required. If there's a daughter, a daughter can also do that.
Okay. Okay. That's okay. Nice. Nice one you shared us. But
Zen
I'll
ma'am, raise hand.
Um, yes, I fully side with you that economic independence is the most important thing because that makes women suffer a lot. When they are not economically independent, they keep on tolerating a lot of nonsense and then they carry on and they are not sure of themselves. So, economic independence is absolutely essential for a woman to be independent.
okay. Anybody else? Thank you, Zen ma'am. Anybody
Yes,
else?
economy, finance, yeah, finance and education is a very important for women.
Okay.
Vidya ma'am,
I suffer for all the moment, all the time. I am suffering and regret me all the time.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. So
Um,
yes, yes, yes. Please continue, ma'am.
yes, ma'am. Your question was women empowerment through the three E's. Is there anything else than these three?
Yes.
So, yes, education, employment, earnings, everything is important. But I also feel that, there must be a gut feeling for the girl to have self confidence and believe in herself as she goes through. And as Anita ma'am said, so, performing the last rites, I think the society will never be ready to allow us to do that. We
Okay.
should claim it. That is what I feel, because I say it with experience, and I performed the last rites for my husband. I
Okay.
went to Rameshwaram, I went to Kasi, I went to Gaya, I went again to Rameshwaram and did the entire loop of the last rites. And I still perform the yearly rites. So I think it is the society will never be ready to give it to you. You need to claim it to make it happen.
Okay.
You must be very strong for that.
Okay. Fine.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. And your experiences really, I'm really sorry for the loss, but your experience speaks a lot to us. And but as a child, I was thinking these three because as a growing up ages, I was definitely I was into watching, observing the politics and so many things. And I really thought education, employment, and earnings is a best thing a women will get for empowerment. But unfortunately, I have given a class Vignet where the girl is a postgraduate, where she is the only earning member of the family. So she get a very well paid, and her designation is also a high profile designation. So what is that? She's still so. That is the question, biggest question in front of us. And as Anita ma'am and I couldn't see the other person's name, said doing the last rite. Presently, I'm residing in Kerala, and here women do last rites, and here also I get clients in the same mode. So, what is that missing? And that research, because almost last 20 years, 23 years now, I'm doing this, and most areas I work also is with women. And I come across, honestly, I come across lot of professionals because I work mostly. I worked in hospital setups, and wherever in hospitals, at least with this friendly chat, they start sharing, and they come to us for counseling and suggestions. So even the professionals, doctors, engineers, and lawyers, advocates, we think they know every law who can corner. But whatever may be the education, whatever may be their status in the society, how much ever they earn. Previously, this when we see this low income group, no, the alcoholic husband will just pull this money from the wife because she is uneducated, she couldn't control her. She go for a maiden work and she get a very less paid, and that will also be compulsorily snatched by the husband. But what about the women in this educated quality, and how does they also fall prey like uneducated women? This was the biggest question in front of me, and that's how I ended up in several researchers. And unfortunately, I understood that education, employability, and financial economical freedoms is not making the women empowered. They still are bereft, meager, scant, and devoid. So let's move into the story, and we'll come back to Rupa and others very shortly. This, all of us know the story of Cindrella, but still I have a small brief for you. Cindrella is a very kind, gentle, sweet person. She is very down to earth. Once her father also expired, her stepmother has put in as a servitude in her own house. It is not anybody's house, her own father's house. She has been becoming a servant maid for her stepmother and stepsisters. They are very greedy about her beauty, and this girl is very pretty, like an angel. And she does every work with the tolerant and resilient. She, whatever they scold, she comes back and smile at them, and she goes and be kind to the cats and the mice. And she is very resilient. Every time she pick up courage and hope, she never lost her hope and dreams. She keep dreaming. But what are the negative qualities I found in Cinderella is, okay, sorry, I didn't finish the story. So this girl has been continuously nudged by them. So one fine day, they are hearing this kingsman announcement that the princess is looking for his bride. So Cinderella was also invited for the party. She was getting ready with her mom's dress, and the mice and other things were helping her making the dress done. But what happens is, seeing this beautiful dress, these stepsisters get very angry and they ripped her dress. That by that way, Cinderella can be stopped, is what they thought. But suddenly, the fairy angel appears and she gave her a blessing, and she said that now you can go with this mirror slippers and meet the princess and attend the party. What happens is, this there is a time deadline. The fairy says that after 12 o'clock you cannot stay there. The fairy has not given her a full freedom or full blessing. She says that this blessing will only work for this much limitation, boundaries are left. So she ran back and she lost one slipper. By that way, the prince found her, and they are married. They lived happily ever after. It's the wonderful story we all heard. And this is not only just Cinderella story. Based on this Cinderella stories, there are lot many movies we have in, I think in 90s or 70s, 80s, 90s. After 70s, there was no militant or freedom fighter cinemas. It was only romantic movies, and after that, it was all mostly based on this. One girl will be suffering, in even if she is rich, her father will be little arrogant and kind of thing, so she will be very much suffering. So she will be safeguarded by the Prince Charming as the hero, isn't it? This is the story we have seen. But in the real story of Cinderella, we have some negative characters of Cinderella too. She is very submissive. She won't talk back. She endures every problem, and but irrespective of the problems, she keeps daydreaming. She will say that sing even when the Duke is coming, she will not run and find the way for that time also. She will be keep on singing and dreaming things. So, what is every Cinderella based stories has a typical characters, or there will be a protagonist and an antagonist, a Grady which will be there, and Fairy Angel is also there. There is always a problem. The problem is most probably connected to the women. Women is suffering, and there is always a solution. Solution is none but the Prince Charming who comes and safeguards the women. There is always a tough track for in between the Prince Charming and the Cinderella, and there will be a little twist and turns, but the end is that definitely the Prince Charming will safeguard the Cinderella and they will live happily ever after, isn't it? So, what is the actual moral of this story? The real moral of this story. Can somebody say what is the real moral of the story? Don't Google, just say what you felt. At least after if you don't know the story, I have just briefed in few points.
Yes, ma'am. If there is a problem, there is a solution. So, as the story goes now, we just see with a perspective like Cinderella must do something for herself.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes, everyone, you can share your. Yes, Vidya, ma'am, your hand is raised.
I feel like, she was a dreamer. As far as Cinderella story goes, she was a dreamer, but she was not very proactive or very assertive to the world. However, her goodness.
Ma'am, excuse me. What I'm asking is, what is the actual moral of the story? Not about Cinderella now. The question will come again. Now the question is, what is the actual moral of Cinderella story?
Dreams come true.
Okay, good. Any other morals?
Being kind always helps and to be a good person.
Great. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Fine. So the moral is truth prevails because they try to hide the slipper and do everything, but the truth prevails. Good deeds will be rewarded. Patience pay off, isn't it? A hope moves mountains, and every dog has its own time. No matter of today, this too shall pass. These are the actual basic models of the stories. And with this, the story has any movie or any folklore stories, or most commonly, and here once they are married, isn't it? They lived happily ever after. Is this the real life situation? No. Actually, in the reality, getting married is an interval. It is not the end card. In reality, most of the problem starts from the marriage. I used to always tell my patients who comes for premarital counseling, or when they are in living together relationship, they want to just, they will be confused state. They will come in for a premarital counseling. I'll always tell them, it is not that your love succeeds when you get married. The love succeeds when you live together, irrespective of all your differences, isn't it? So, getting married is the interval card. Post marriage problems is not analyzed in any of this folklore or type of romantic movies. So, let's analyze what is Cinderella complex and who named this. Hidden fear independence. We all know what is independence and what is freedom, isn't it? Can you someone give a difference about independence and freedom? Because we a lot of us are talking about feminism.
Yes, friends, you can share your views. Anita ma'am, Zen ma'am, Darshini, Reshmi. Yes, Anita ma'am.
Ma'am, freedom is something when you want to do something and uh, you can do it without anyone stopping you.
Right.
And independence is not able to.
Anybody wants to try?
Independence is you have the capacity to do it alone. If I'm right, huh,
Great, great.
yeah, not really sure.
Zen ma'am. Yes, Zen ma'am raised hand. Yes, Zen ma'am.
Sorry. I look upon independence and freedom going hand in hand with responsibility towards yourself and others. If you want your freedom, you have to handle it responsibly and you have to take charge of your life.
Exactly, exactly. That was a great answer, ma'am. Freedom is you have a freedom, like breathing is your freedom, and you are able to breathe, isn't it? You are not stopped. Talking is your freedom, and you are talking, but somewhere you are stopped because of social manners. Okay. And what is independence? Independence is independence, not independent. Okay. So if you are not depending on something or someone, it is called the ability to be self dependent and use the freedom in a responsible manner is independent, isn't it? So that's what Dowling says that not every woman is really independent. They have a lot of freedom, but they are not independent from their mindset, and they continuously fear to be independent. So they keep on depending some men. This is what she names as Cinderella complex. So while analyzing this Cinderella complex, we have to understand what stops us to be stopping us to be out of freedom and independence. Most of us talk a lot about freedom. For example, education is your rights, isn't it? It is your freedom. So when you are educated, their end result is knowledge and wisdom. But most stop with knowledge, not acquiring wisdom. So this is where we are set up past. We are not having our own wisdom to clarifyly think on the problems. We are not solving problems using our brain, but what we are doing is we are thinking about the problems using our perceptions. This is the very important reason, irrespective of education, irrespective of economical freedom, and irrespective of the job status, women are not independent or fears independence. The first important thing is their cultural boundings, because they started believing the stories from the point of view of the teller. If the teller is saying that Prince Charming came down and saved the girl, they believe that the Prince Charming will come one day and he will save me too. And most of the times, the another thing which blocks is our own perceptions. We perceive some problems. We think, what if I do in this manner? How can I do this? If will my family accept this? Will my society? In the young girls, mostly, most commonly, if you say that please come and attend this, there is a meeting by 10 o'clock or 8 o'clock, they'll say, no, 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 my parents will not accept it. But they have not discussed with the family members. They are saying this because they perceive so. Because before this, they might have asked for going to a movie with the friends or going for a date with a friend. The parents must have refused. That doesn't mean the parent will refuse for a important educational need or industrial visit, isn't it? But what happens is they connect with unwanted things, and they perceive that my family will not accept this kind of perceptions develop on our mindset, and we started thinking or believing that this is going to be a problem if I talk to my family about this problem. And whenever we talk about the cultural boundings, most of the times what happens is people again misinterpret that all the boundaries or limitations, but some are guiding traffic lights. Sometimes some boundaries are necessary, or answering some boundaries will keep us safe and protected. But for example, if you're going for a evening class or anything, your parent or your neighbor is asking, what happens immediately? Why is he asking all these things? Why he wants to give every new answers about me? But if you are keeping them informed according to them, it's not that we have to give accountable to every neighbor, but somewhere information helps if there is a problematic situation, isn't it? So that, don't look at every boundings as a problematic situation, because Cinderella complex, most of the time what happens is people start thinking that everything is only limiting them. It is not that they really assess what it is. They don't have the ability to assess and understand. That's why I said no, acquiring knowledge is different from acquiring wisdom. So the wisdom is acquiring life skills. What is the problem, how to resolve the problem, how to be kind, how to be assertive, all these things comes under emotional intelligence or wisdom. This cannot be acquired with your mark sheets or numbers in your mark sheets, isn't it? So this wisdom is very important. And with the most important thing is this, our own perceptions, or like all of us know elephants has been chained in the early days. After a certain period of time, this elephant will not move out of this place or never tries to move out, because it is chained in his mind. It is only in the early stages he is chained in his legs. And later, after some time, he remembers this chain and he decides this will be always there. So, if we are not chaining him, also, he will continuously thinking that he is chained. So, now once again, we have to analyze and remember Rupa. Rupa is meek, irrespective of education and employability, submissive, docile, easily swayed. That's why I said she has a very big cultural misconceptions and boundings that it is okay because everyone drinks. I can be like a slavery to or do a servitude to my demanding in-laws. There is a limitation to demand to any person, and she will never respond back to them. And she lacks that empowerment that giving or sharing the responsibility to her teen children or talking to her husband about he's not going to the job, isn't it? So this way she is perceiving that the problem is in her mind. She thinks that husband cannot go back to the work because he is having some liver disease. But husband can very well go to the job and he can earn, but he is not supportive, is not getting into her mind. That is the main thing. So to interpret, what happens is most of the people who doesn't like Rupa, who doesn't want to break their shackles, is mainly they are caged in their old adolescent conflicts. Rupa has been in her teen years, she has been rejected by her boyfriend. So she is worried, what if I am going to get rejected again? And she also want to live freely, because here with husband she can wear a modern dress or anything, because he gives freedom for those things, because he wants his things to happen. And but this never happened in her family. Orthodox family, parents says this is all lavish, but husband says it is okay because there is a difference in his responsibility. He only utilize or exploit this girl for his needs. So he shows like, oh, lovable kind of man, and he gets all this unwanted things and makes her, pampers her with the small gifts. It is not that he is really responsible and lovable to give her gift. But this girl is always feeling safe to be with husband, because she's worried what will the society say if my husband is not picking me or dropping me, if I'm going to leave alone. She is very much bothered about the society. And very importantly, she thinks it is very comfortable to live with her in-laws. She doesn't want to question them. She feels that it is all right to be like this, and every home has the same thing. She says, always says, no, no, this is okay. Every home has a problem. Every in-laws will be like that. So this, she doesn't want to get out of her comfort zone. But actually, how is this story misinterpreted? Everyone thinks that this story, the Prince Charming is the person who really helped this girl Cindrella and released her from the typical difficult situation living with her stepmother and step sisters. But that's why this girl is dancing to his tunes and she is becoming lovable, is the very important misinterpretation. That's why most of the girls believe that the man will come and end my problems. They are dependent on this prince. They all think that one day my love, even this film Basigar or so many things, movies, we have a lot many saying that one day he will come and he will save me, he will do this, he will be like this heroic adventurous and that blah blah blah, because they believe he is the superpower. That is the problem. That is the misinterpretation given to all of us for years and years. But the actual fact is, Prince Charming is the reward. He is not the person who saved her. The goodness and hope is Cindrella. Cindrella hoped that everything will change, and she been very good and quiet. So the fairy angel came and gave her an opportunity. Excuse me. Their fairy angel again says this opportunity will be lost after 12 p.m. So she again have a check mark to see how hopeful Cinderella is. So again, even after losing her slippers, she hoped that days will come back and they will find with the glass slippers, and she had the second pair of slipper. This is how that story moves in. Okay, so who is actually the person who saved Cinderella here is her persistent efforts irrespective of situation, because once she got ready with the dress, this sisters has ripped her dress. Then again Cinderella sat down, cried for it. But when the fairy angel appears, she doesn't lost hope. She said immediately, I want to go, yes. And she got ready to go immediately. And she was persistent in her efforts that somehow she has to reach the party. And again, what she did is, from the party, when she lost her slippers also, she doesn't stay there after 12 o'clock. She believed that this situation will change and he will definitely come in search of me. And she believed in herself, if I go attend, the everything will change. This belief in herself was the strongest point of Cindrella, isn't it? So this is what most of us are not understanding, that it is not about the prince who's coming and saving us. It is all about us, who we are and how much we are going to love ourselves, how much we are going to put persistent effort on ourselves is going to change the entire situation from the present day. So what is the idea? How are we going to solve this problem? How do I address this problem? Most commonly, whenever the person comes to me, they have a very poor self-esteem. They are very submissive. They doesn't have assertive skills, and they doesn't have self-compassion towards themselves, and they don't self-love themselves. They are always carrying a tag about the society, and they say that I have to live like this. Then only I'm a good girl. So this good girl tag is a very biggest crown for them, and that they never understand that is not really a crown. So what we first do is, we have to make them improve their self-esteem and understand what is the problem area and how to focus. It is not that the problem area is their education or their earnings or their employability. The problem area is their self confidence is what they lack in, and their understanding and idea about the life skills. That is very important. Their life skills are very poor. They couldn't have a problem solving or coping mechanism. They continuously get, sorry, excuse me, they continuously keep on pressurizing themselves, and they being submissive, and they thought that is okay. Being submissive for several years, they get addicted to be submissive, and they get addicted to be continuously uh, doing all such exploitation. They allow people to exploit them. This is because of their poor life skills. So I particularly use dialectical behavior therapy to improve their self-esteem and their self-image. Here it is self-image I try to improve. And in some cases, if the as a stern belief on the community and society, if they are very much worried about what next, they couldn't solve the problem. They think that no, that my husband is perfectly all right. For this people, we will give a cognitive behavior therapy. We'll never tell them to divorce the husband, but we'll tell them that it is a marriage is a responsibility of two people. If only you are responsible and another person is exploiting, it is an exploitative relationship which is going to make you sick one or another day. So we teach them how to look into things and how to even change their husband in a betterment way. So this is what has been done for some time. And cognitive restructuring, most of the times it is needed because this women's thought process, no, they have no core self values. It is very important. Their self values has to be addressed. And in the recent past 4 5 years, what I understood in most commonly with these women is this life skills and other self-esteem getting poor during their postpartum or even with the PMS. So even I work their medical nutrition therapy. I look into their micronutrient deficiencies, if it is all right, and even sometimes dyssymbiosis, bacterial, their way of eating, how mindful they are about themselves, their way of exercise, because these are all the factor which alters their mood and which suppress them also. So I work on the medical nutrition therapy also. And after all these things, I will help them to build up the personality and tell them building the personality for outside and keeping yourself submissive inside your home doesn't make you a good person. That will only negatively hamper you, and that will make you sick, overall sick after a period of time. So it is always, you have to be a same person everywhere. You should be always understanding yourself. And to anybody, though it is a husband or in-laws, you can speak out assertively, even to your children. You should be a perfect role model and be assertive. You should be always kind but firm, and you should always be giving first importance to yourself. That doesn't mean you should not take care of your family or you should be freaky. It means that you be responsible to your family and make your family members also to be equally responsible for this organization, because family is again an organization. So all of us together, even a child with 5 or 6 years also should be responsible to his roles of the family, isn't it? So I do all these things as a very important thing. And this mostly goes to 8 to 12 settings. Most commonly this goes to 12 settings, not less than that. And these women sometimes may need some more time, and they may get back to us in a limited frequency, but every time we help and support them to face all those issues that is really they are confused about. So I try to pass on the important message from Mahatma Gandhi. What Gandhi says is he is the one person who strongly believes in the mindset of women. He doesn't talk about the beauty of women. He says women is the companion of men, and he reinforces on equity. He never talks about the equality. He says that equity, we are not equal, but we are equate. So he says that gifted with equal mental capacity, we both have equal mental capacity. But if you ask who has more strength and moral power, that is definitely immeasurably women has more superior than man. And if there is something with the bylaw with non-violence, only women can bring into best effort is what he believes. So I just want to show you some of the women role models. I don't know how, do you all know all these people?
One is Kiran Bedi, one is Sarojini Naidu, and Avayar is the other person, ma'am.
Great.
And two of them, I'm not very sure.
Okay. Can you see the mouse cursor moving? This is Avayar. To people who doesn't know, this is not a real image of Avayar. This is a cinematic person who is enacting Avayar. And this is Indra Nooyi, the CEO of PepsiCo. Now I think he's a director or some board director or something. This is Smrita Irani. Smrita Irani is from Manipur. She starved to death for the freedom of her women. She says that the women has been manipulated and exploited in sexual manner by militants, our own militants. So she stood against that and fought for years together. So she's such a stubborn and very iron lady, we can call. Kiran Bedi is a steel lady, we say steel lady. And she is the first person in India who inspired us by her civil services. But this one person is my greatest inspiration. Why? Because in the early olden days, Aware has, when we are all in the beauty concept and we are all going behind the beauty, irrespective of our education and kind of things, she is one person. She said, I want to attain spiritual leadership, and for that sake, if you want me to get married, I don't want this marriage and kind of things. Let my beauty fade away. There is only one woman I heard that she says that let my beauty fade away. And she got it as a blessing too. She got very old with this prayer and her wound was so. So this is one thing I always wonder, how can a woman say this and seek this as a blessing? So that, but she's a very strong, bold woman, and her poems are really even it is all called as moral books in Tamil language, and that is all real guidance for not only women, even for men. They are books to be always kept as our moral, to improve our moral values. And another thing I always remember about Sarojini Naidu is she is such an empowered woman that she even can, when Mahatma Gandhi is father of a nation, she even can stand against and say that if it is wrong, she is the only person who can stand against and say it is wrong. You cannot take such decisions. That clarity of thoughts, even Gandhi has appreciated in his books. And Indra Nooyi, I heard about her story. She is from a South Indian Orthodox family again. When she went on improving in her career, her mother once she was announced as a CEO, she wants to immediately go and share this happiness with her family. And once she entered into the parking lot, her mother says, "Go get some milk." So she asked, "Why you're not telling this to my husband who is already there?" She said, "He is a man. She just came back from work." That doesn't mean that I'm not working. I'm also back from work. When she asked, at least you can ask some maid to do this. Mother says, leave your crown there when in the garage when you enter the home. That is what we South Indians or Indians are told. Not only South Indians, we Indians are told to be like, whatever you work, whatever you achieve, when you enter the house, you are everything for this house, and you have to take up the complete responsibility. Whatever might be your physical work or mental work, we are least bothered. You get back to the kitchen and make us the dinner is what we are insisted on. But that also she coolly accepted, and she says that my family is my priority, but I balance both, and I maximum tried my best to keep my employer status to the better way. So this is how the battle of women is very common. They fight for so many things, especially they have to fight against their home. In recently some movie, the player will be saying that if it is a male player, they have to only play against the opponent. If it is a female player, she has to start it from the family, and she has to convince everyone around the family, and then only she can start playing. The same thing applies to any profession of women. We are all continuously being battling with several small things. Still, there are some women who played well, and they did achieve without any of this Cinderella complex or any of the women particular mental issues affecting them, because everyone undergoes the same problems. That's why I said equity is different from equality. Most, yeah, I think recently in Kerala, the uniform has, last year uniform has been changed. Girl students can wear a pant and shirt. But what is the bizarre in this is they are wearing pant and shirt with the blazers. In this humid climate, blazers is really too hot. But where is the equity? Boys equality there. Boys are wearing only pant and shirt. So dress doesn't make any sense because we are different. The nature has presented man and women in two different forms. We have to accept what we are, how we are. We have to enjoy and celebrate womanhood. But whatever areas we can achieve, we should go about it without any kind of poor self-esteem or any kind of lack of self-compassion. We have to work on empowering ourselves with not only with education but also with the strong personality improvement or personality development. So women are the largest untapped reservoir of the talent in the world. I just got this from an anonymous message, but I want to say, if not you, who else can win? And already during introduction they mentioned about the women mental health india initiative. We have a very small group of women mental health india. It is around just 20 members, but we do keep in touch and keep helping each other. But it is kind of alcoholic anonymous, not everyone know each other. We just go anonymous and talk to each other. Only myself and these three members, Yaini, Yamini, and Shravanti. Yaini and Yamini are twin sisters. They are social workers, and Shravanti is a psychologist. Psychologist. She has completed her graduation. So only we know the data about all the members. Others just communicate to each other to help resolve their problems, to help support each other. Thank you. If you have any questions.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, one by one we will take questions,
uh,
Reshmi ji.
oh,
Over to you, Sharika, for question answer session.
okay.
Yes, ma'am.
First,
Thank you
Shalini,
so
ma'am.
much, ma'am. This Cinderella's complex is a topic which we have not heard about much before. Your talk was so clear and easily understandable, and a excellent speech. Thank you so much, ma'am. And over to audience. This is the Q&A time, so please do shoot your questions.
Over to you, Reshmi.
I speak to Hindi incomfortable. So,
Hindi. I
Sweta, please.
somebody.
Sweta, please.
I will translate. Yeah. Yes.
हाँ ज्यादातर हम लोग एक तो पोर एडुकेशन और ये तो एक है, और एक होता है हम लेडीज में जो होता है एक बेचारा, मतलब खुद को जैसे एक तो बेचारा समझना, क्योंकि है नहीं, हम लोगों में पोटेंशियल है, तो उसको ढूंढ के हम लोग कैसे करके उससे ओवरकम करें, और सबके अंदर कुछ ना कुछ तो होता ही है पोटेंशियल, तो उसको कैसे हम लोग इनहेंस करें, ये मेरा क्वेश्चन है. थैंक यू.
So Reshmi ji is asking, in ladies especially, we pity ourselves, and we all have potential, but how we can unleash our potential and know our potential so that we can become better self. Yes, ma'am.
That's what I said. You need maybe like initial stages. If the personality development sessions will do, if the personality development sessions are not helping you, then you should definitely reach out to a psychologist and get a cognitive behavioral therapy. So there your ideas and thought process will be addressed, and the thought process can be transferred into the proper values, and emotions will also be addressed there.
Yes, ma'am. And ma'am, you want to share some tips, how she can do. Sometimes they are not able to take the sessions. So instantly what they have to do and self-work on themselves.
Okay. Whenever you are dealing with the self pity issues, first write down and see what is really you have to be pitiful about or pitied about. So the points which need to be addressed, not every time that what we think or really we can write up. Only it is valuable, we will write. Every brain work on these principles that we think of so many negative things, but when we say put it on writing, you will get stuck. And once you write down, you yourself will rethink and say, oh, no, this is not really applicable. Then you struck it off. So this is how we can, first technique we can do. Second is have some amount of self-love. Whenever we talk about self-love, what people does is they just go to parlor and do some things. But self-love is eating properly, eating mindfully, not properly, it is eating mindfully. Because most commonly what happens, why I'm saying insisting on this nutrition factor is due to our every month reproductive biology, we lost some micronutrients every time. That is not properly replaced because we think that caring others is very important, and we say that it is okay, I'll give this to beta, I'll give this to, or sometimes we are even to repeat cooking or lazy about doing certain things, we say okay, that is not necessary for me. That kind, stop that kind of things. Eat mindfully with the proper right nutrition, and sleep is the very important self-care. Not every woman does that too. After this, once the mobile has entered, we women are most addicted every night and day. We are just keep on scrolling to the social media. Please stop this and live in the reality. Then keep yourself hydrated. Water makes you think with clarified clarity. So have proper hydration, drink waters, eat sufficient fruits and things. And more than anything, self-care, it is all about giving freshness to your mind, regenerating your mind. Involve or indulge in yourself into a creative hobbies. You can do a gardening, you can go play in outdoor games, or but 45 minutes it is for yourself every day. Some dance, sing, don't listen to music or don't put headset, sing, do a walking, do some yoga, meditation. Any of these things will help you a lot.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And I know Reshmi ji
Thank
personally.
you. Thank you,
She is
ma'am.
a great singer and she will definitely follow her hobby. Yes, friends, if you have any
Thank you.
question, you can share. Yes, Anita ma'am, Vidya ma'am, Zen ma'am. Any views you can share, any add-ons you can share, you can also open. Yes, Zen ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
Vidya ma'am.
share your experience also.
Yes, you can share your experience. And ma'am, I really love this concept because before this, I also have this mentality, uh, this Prince Charming kind of thing. This is always every girl dream, the horse came, the prince coming on horse, and lots of things which put into
So,
subconsciously into our brain. Yes. So
जस्ट
we,
ऑन मिनट एक बात है ना, वो तो बहुत मतलब ख्वाब में अच्छा लगता है, लेकिन शादी का लड्डू जो खाए पछता है वो ना खा खाए वो भी पछता है, ये भी बात है। सॉरी, इसके अंदर ये बात बोलना सही है कि नहीं पता नहीं, लेकिन ये भी एक है।
yes, yes, absolutely. Like Reshmi ji is saying, like marriage, marriage. Some say we have to do marriage, and some say we do not have to do marriage. Both is there. So, so ma'am, according to you, my question is, according to you, like if women want to be self-independent, wants to do, on our own, is this requirement to do marriage, like to dependent like that? It is requirement because in society it
Marriage
is
is not
needed.
making us slave. Marriage is not actually making us slave. It is all human perception and thought process is making us slave. Actually, I had got this beautiful quote from my teacher. He says that marriage is successful all about two things. One is the two people with all the mistakes accept each other with their flaws, and they forgive and forget and keep moving. This is what marriage is all about. We keep associating.
ब्यूटीफुल थॉट मैम, ब्यूटीफुल थॉट। में थोड़ा इंटरेस्ट करें इसको, थोड़ा आप श्वेता इसको थोड़ा मेंशन कर देना मैसेज ये में थॉट्स को। हाँ
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, ma'am. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So, what
Yes,
I
ma'am.
would
Continue.
say is when it comes to marriage, it is all about how, because man is a social animal, we need to be associated with somebody, and it makes us more flourishing together, living together. If you are going to be ideal or single, or you are moving on your own world after a certain point of time, your mind needs someone to care of as well as to share love, isn't it? Love is not about just giving, it is also to get back. So when you lack that, even this people with Cinderella's complex, they are not getting back their love. That is where, because they expect more actually. So that they keep on sharing, but they are not getting as much as they expected is the problem. So marriage doesn't stop us women from empowerment at all. Some cases, marriage empowers us too.
Yes, if but my question is it necessary to marriage? No, to get married, is it necessary for everyone?
Absolutely, absolutely, with the individual's decision. It is not.
Individual, right?
It is not a
Compulsory.
like a social decision. It should be that how much the person is physically and mentally prepared to be responsible for a institution. Marriage is an institution again. If you are ready to join this institution and you can make it perfect, you can go about it.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Yes, when
Just
ma'am.
wish to share a small this one, Shweta, regarding my this one. I just
Okay.
had 15 days to decide. I just saw my husband, 15 days to decide, and then within 15 days everything got settled. I agreed to it. I didn't ask him anything. I didn't know him. We just liked each other, and then 1 month he returned back because he had to. He had to take care of his job, and he was a breadwinner for his family. He had to support his family, and then I didn't have time at all. 1 month I came here, and after that I've just been independent. No one to come here. No one came here. In fact, last 23 years I'm here. So I just took care of my two daughters. I was working, I was studying, and then it went on. And then I've seen more. See, we had our own challenges in this foreign country because I didn't have any person to come and support me. In fact, my mother also, she's not there, she's not alive. But I had my own challenges. But I think I've seen more of my improvement only after marriage. Okay, so I think parents also have that they have that fear if the daughter doesn't get married on time. No, they also have that worry, I think. See, I have two daughters now. I'm also getting a little worried. They should complete their studies, and they should have marriage. I think for everyone, for some of them it's a good thing. Marriage is a good thing. You just need to. What I'm saying is that I didn't have time to think about it, but I'm happy. I've learned so many things after marriage. I've had my challenges, Shweta ma'am and Sripriya ma'am, but somehow I managed, and I've become very, very strong, mentally strong. I've become, and I
Very
have my
nice.
ups and downs. Yes, I do have mood swings. I have my ups and downs, but then I've just come out of it. I know how to divert my mind to something else, and that too, being in the mental health webinar series group, it has made me very, very strong. All the more. Thank
Wonderful.
you so much.
Yes. Thank you so much, Anita ma'am, for sharing your experience. Artish, you have raised your hand. Arti, ma'am. Srisha ma'am, you want to add something in this? Yes, Arti is here. Yes, Arti. Arti. Can unmute yourself?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, you're
Okay.
audible.
Yeah. So it was regarding the same thing that we're talking about marriage. I think it's one of the very nice thing that can happen, and it can even destroy a girl. So my take on is if you get a real good partner, a life partner, your life is really good. Because I have been very independent. My dad, my mom have brought up as independent girls. But after marriage, my husband is the one who keeps pushing me to, get out of the house, do something. Even when I don't want to do it, when I want to take a break, like I've got kids and all, when I want to take a break, he's the one he's saying, you're wasting your time. You're a talented girl. Get out of the house. Even if you don't want to work or you don't want to earn money, just get out because that will improve you as a person. So I think getting a right kind of a life partner is more important. Uh, as I said, it can also break you when you generally, end up with someone who doesn't respect you or all. That's the reason I think before marriage, it is very important for a girl to have a good education, to even work for some time, because when they get that financial, they have that confidence that I can be financially independent anytime in my life. That is when the girl is confident enough. And I think that shows when she goes to a new house and her confidence even shows there in front of everyone. And if you respect yourself, that's when people respect you. And that's very, very evident in our society. Because if you see the ladies coming as domestic helpers and all, they have a low esteem because they don't have that self image as a strong woman. But actually, if you see, most of them are the ones who are the breadwinners of the house because their husbands are mostly drunkards, and even if they are earning, they're just spending their money in there. So it's all about their self image. So as a independent girl before marriage, if you go to a new house, I think it makes more sense to us. And about marriage, definitely it's a blissful thing to grow old as with someone you really love, because the most loving people will not stay with you as I mean, I'm talking about parents uh, when we grow old. So definitely a partner makes a really good choice for that matter. Uh, Also, one last point that I want to bring in is that nowadays most of the things that I'm looking in the young girls and the I would say boys and girls and the couples, is to a very early stage they keep saying we don't want to get married for whatever reasons they have. Okay, and even if they get married, they are saying we don't want to have kids. They don't want to have babies, But when the time actually passes out, a certain age has gone by. That is when they start realizing that they have made a mistake in past when they were supposed to make a right decision. So my take on is if somebody doesn't want to, get married, it is perfectly fine. It is their choice. But they should have made a future plan till they're alive, not for next 10 years or not for, 20 years that I'm working, I'm independent, I'm taking the whole world tour and all those things. This is only when we are young. But when we go old, how are we going to take care of us? Financially, physically, mentally, emotionally, we need someone to take care of us. Uh, Again, as kids also, when couples are deciding we don't want to have kids, once the time passes, then they decide, कि अब चाहिए, and then they are going through the hell lot of medical issues, and then they end up getting depressed of not getting kids, and all sorts of things then happen. So I think life is very important. Taking decision at the right time. Uh, if you don't want to get married,
Yes.
you don't want to have kids, it's perfectly fine. It is perfectly fine, but you have to decide about it, and be
Thank you
clear
so
about it. Just because somebody is pressurizing you, you should get married, whether it's your parents, your families, your relatives, the society, not necessary that you need to get married. If you're
Thank you
happy
so much,
independent, just
Aarti.
stay the way it is. Thank
Yes,
you so
thank
much
you
for
so
the
much,
call.
Aarti,
Thank you
ma'am,
so much.
for sharing your experience. Yes, over to you, Supriya, ma'am. You want to add on something? Then we can wrap up the session.
Yes, just one thing. What ma'am said is very important thing. That today's generation, we are seeing not everyone, but most of them saying that I don't want to get married. But this again, it can be easily classified. One group is that they are just as go with the peer pressure. They say, "Oh, my friend also said like that." So, but actually, they inside themselves they are very ready. That once you say that your marriage is fixed, they will go for the bridal shop and everything. They will be ready. That is one criteria who are not self-decisive. And the second criteria is who really fears to take responsibility because of their life events. Sometimes even they are coming out from the alcoholic parent or separated parents. They have the fear of taking up responsibility. How can I go about it? And they are not properly role model. That also happens. And the third category is really they had a very dramatic, sorry, not dramatic, traumatic childhood issues, and this trauma may lead to such decisions. So it is like we cannot generalize this thing. We have to. That's why I said premarital counseling is very important. So we have to sit, talk to them, and if it is a small issues to sway off, we can just sway off and tell them it is all right. You will be all right with the group of people. But if it is real trauma and kind of incidents, we have to address them, get them prepared for these things. Because the society says that you have to be competitive, you have to do this. We are entering into like past 20, 30 years. It is kind of achievement is smart, not the peacefulness is for any human. Every human should be very much achieving and they do so many things. So people are behind achievement and they want every day their social media has to be filled with congratulations status or anything such sort of. That's why they keep on changing their pictures and they are getting into the narcissistic mode most commonly. So this has to be addressed properly. Then the problem with the marriage may resolve much better. Otherwise, marriage is not the problem for anything. How we live and how we perceive is the problem for everything.
Wonderful answer, ma'am. Really, it's a great add-on, I can say. And Aarti, ma'am, one takeaway I take from you is if someone decides not to be married, she must, prepare for lifetime. So thank you so much for a wonderful takeaway I get. And
Yes.
thank you so much, ma'am. And for a vote of thanks, I will request Anita, ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Shweta, for giving me an opportunity to propose a vote of thanks. Thank you, Sripriya ma'am, for that wonderful and very meaningful and thoughtful session from you. Kindly accept our gratitude on behalf of the Positive Health Healers team. And dear participants, we will meet with yet another session next Thursday at the same time. Until then, it's a goodbye from all of us here. Take care and have a wonderful weekend. See you all and bye. Good night, everyone. Bye, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye bye.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so
Thank
much,
you.
ma'am.
Bye, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Yes, friends, there is a feedback form in the chat box. You can fill that as well. And let's
Okay.
sit in 1 minute. Yes, in the remembrance of Supreme Almighty.
Yeah.